So day 2 is a really exciting day. We are focused today on the HR and OD professional community. So all of the sessions are around what will make a difference to us in our day-to-day practice. So we've got some really fantastic speakers. We're going to be looking at leadership. We're going to look at evidence-based HR. That's obviously very important to us. We're also going to look at neuroscience. It's a really hot topic at the moment. So we'll do some really interesting work around that later on towards the end of the day. We're also going to do a very important session on developing the HR and OD Public Sector Professional of the Year. One particular session that we are sure will be a highlight is the one around leadership. We have Showkat Lal from Rotherham Council and also Angela O'Connor, a past president.
Well, I think what we've got to recognise is that we live in a really volatile world at the moment, really uncertain, really complex, really ambiguous. And leaders have to understand the detail, the context of where we are, what we're doing. They've got to be quite courageous. They've got to be quite bold in their decision making. They've got to be clear on their evidence base, where the information is coming from, what they're basing those decisions on. And more than anything, they've got to be very consistent in the way that they communicate, the vision that they set, the direction that they give, and the way that they support and bring along the whole workforce on this very difficult and complex journey. My biggest challenge in Rotherham has really been around how we engage the workforce, how we deal with the morale issues. The whole legacy of Rotherham has been a very poor one. People feel very demoralised. They feel quite ashamed of working for the council. So the challenge for us is how to make people feel proud and part of something that is very different from the past, and something which is about changing and improving and really delivering good services to the people of Rotherham.
So another session that will be very interesting to us is the one around evidence-based HR and productivity. Rob Reiner, very, very influential in our field, and really has led the path on making sure that HR and OD can demonstrate the tangible value that we add to organisations.
Well, I think HR potentially have a very important role to play in driving productivity, not necessarily on the level of productivity itself, because that's more complex calculation around inputs and outputs, but particularly around performance and performance management. And I think for me, one of the most important things HR can do is really get evidence-based about this. It seems to be there's a lot of practices in HR now around performance management that are not particularly evidence-based, and there are others that are, but are maybe misapplied. A really good example is, or two examples actually, one is goal setting. So goal setting can be very effective in helping to manage performance, but it needs quite a lot of work to make it work, and it's only appropriate for certain kinds of jobs. I think the other example, which has got a lot of attention recently, is performance appraisal. So in principle, appraising people's performance and giving them feedback is a really good idea. However, we know from a lot of research there's a lot of reasons why that can go wrong. Biases, other kinds of problems, distorted ratings, and in the end often employees react quite negatively to it. So I think the key challenge for HR around performance management is to really look at what the performance problems are and apply the right kind of solutions adapted for their own particular context.
We were delighted to be asked to come along to the conference and speak this time. We'd done a local networking event, and I think they'd seen us talk about resilience and talk about the brain chemicals, etc., and the neuroscience. So we got asked to come along. We wanted to do it because there's loads of people that will hear our voice and our opinion and our observations, and it helps get that word out there, really. It's very good for us as a consultancy.
Coming to conference is a real treat. Not only do you get to experience some of the best speakers around, it's so much more about the networks. It's being with colleagues, it's hearing from them, it's connecting with people that you haven't seen in a while, and it's feeling part of something, feeling part of a really collaborative HR movement.
It's really interesting, our relationship with PPMA. Penna's a global HR business, so it's really important for us to help the profession going forward. So our partnership is on the surface and deep, actually. So we're a key partner in running the Peer into the Future programme for PPMA. That's getting more exciting each time we run it. We're in our 5th year come September, and we can really see future HR and OD talent playing a key role in change in organisations across the public sector. So our relationship with key partners like PPMA is critical to the success of really our ambition around future talent. talent.
I would absolutely recommend it. We had the graveyard slot this morning, so we were 9 o'clock at first thing when they'd all been up till 2 o'clock. But it was great fun, we got them engaged, we had some interactivity. I was really impressed by the quality and the calibre of the delegates here.
So coming to the conference is really important for the HR community to really consider the networking, the increased knowledge around how the sectors are going to shift. So we're hoping that some of the debates that we've had over the last 2 days around changing models, impact of Brexit, promoting Peer into the Future, Rising Stars and The Apprentice are all really ways of celebrating HR's role. We know it's changing, we've got to respond to that.
End of a really, really good conference. They are always good, but this one, absolutely fantastic. Really good networking events, great to catch up with colleagues, good to celebrate success, to see how the HR community across local government does things really, really well. And of course, we did win 2 awards, so I'm particularly fond of that bit. And of course, absolutely fantastic speakers. Good to have some time, some headspace time to think, to listen to how other people do things, to share best practice, share good practice, and generally to network.
Next year is very, very exciting. We are going up to Newcastle Gateshead for the first time in the history of PPMA. The plan is to follow the agenda pretty much from this year. Caroline and I were both very clear that we wanted to offer a consistent agenda over a longer period of time, which will give us time to really assess the extent to which the contribution that we are making as a professional body is having an influence on the ground, and demonstrating that is key to both the value that we bring to organisations, but it will also make sure that our chief executives and other key stakeholders keep us actively at the top table and in the debate. Newcastle Gateshead itself is a fantastic city. It's an incredibly welcoming region. We'll have fantastic speakers, and I'm quite sure we will have a fully enthused, motivated and dynamic HR and OD community coming, as we always do. It will be great.